Today we're going to talk about some of the pros and cons of the Apollo Beach area. Here we go. I'm Sam, and thanks for coming by the Living in Tampa channel, where we make videos for you about what it's like to live in Tampa. We're also a team of real estate professionals here in the area, so if you have any real estate needs, we would love to hear from you. Please call, text, email. We'd love to connect with you and see how we can help. We have some clients, Eric and Charlene, that bought a house in the Apollo Beach area recently. Their house was actually in Waimama, but they looked in Apollo Beach, Waimama, Ruskin, kind of this whole area over here. And they were really hoping to have water access, and that was something that drew them to this area. We didn't actually go for the water access route. We went a little different route, but I want to talk about some of the pros and cons of this area that came up in conversations with these clients and conversations with people that have moved to this area. That was bright on my back, getting warm. Okay, here's some of the pros and cons. Pro number one, water access in this area, I mean like water in your backyard that you can get out to the Gulf. It's so much cheaper in this area compared to like over in Pinellas County, over closer to the beaches. Some of this is because you're further from Tampa. Some of this is because you're further from those beaches. But if water is the priority, this is a really good potential place. Pro number two, there are cheaper big houses in this area, and even with big yards. So there's areas in Tampa with big houses like West Chase, but they often have really tiny yards. So our client that bought a house out in this area, their house that they purchased was like 3,200 square feet on like an acre and a half on a little lake. And those kind of houses can be found pretty easily out in this area. So that house is a little over 900,000 in Waimama. In Tampa, that house would easily be, 2 million, 3 million maybe. And there's really only a couple areas in Tampa like Odessa where you could actually find a place like that. Pro number three, there's also a lot of new construction out in this area. There's some all the way down in Ruskin, there's a lot in Waimama, there's a lot even up into Riverview and Apollo Beach. But this whole area out here has a lot of this potential. So if you're looking for new construction, if you're looking for new development in general, where you're gonna have new grocery stores and new shopping centers and things like that, this area has a lot of that potential. Even some really interesting new construction homes like the South Shore Yacht Club, which is a development down here on the water that has really easy water access, has its own private beach, some of those kind of special amenities. There are a lot of starter home communities too, but there's also these kind of one-off unique places as well. Pro number four, and kind of a con, you're still gonna have CDD, so Community Development Deed. This is the money that is borrowed from the state to build out this infrastructure for this community. Those expenses are passed along to the new residents in their property taxes. This area has cheaper CDDs than the north suburbs. So a lot of those new communities, Epperson and things like that up in Wesley Chapel, and all of those throughout Odessa, they have pretty expensive CDDs. The communities down this way are a lot cheaper with those kind of expenses. I'm not quite sure why. They just are. And here to just kind of round out this list with pro number five, I think you guys get it. This area is cheaper than the rest of Tampa. And if distance doesn't matter too much, if you're not commuting into Tampa all the time, or our clients that bought in Waimama, he's actually commuting into St. Petersburg 2 to 3 days a week. And another client bought a new house just down in Parrish, which is south of there. She's also commuting to the hospital in St. Pete. So it is kind of a unique access to the St. Petersburg area if you live down this way. Okay, now your guys' favorite part, the cons. Con number one is commuting. If you do have to commute into Tampa, even up into Brandon, you're not gonna be alone. And that commute traffic is rough. And as we've said in other videos, it's not like it's doubling your trip time. It's adding 30, 40%. And just driving in commute traffic is a pain. If you're really used to it and you're like, it's fine, whatever, I'll drive 30, 40 minutes. Some of my clients just moved here from LA and they're used to driving over an hour each way. So a 30 or 40 minute commute seems not too bad to them. But me, I don't like that feel. I don't like having to commute more than 15, 20 minutes. Okay, con number two, no shopping. And I'm putting this in air quotes because people ask for shopping all the time, and usually what people mean is kind of the basic amenities, grocery stores and stuff like that, Target, Ross, that kind of shopping. People aren't often talking about high-end shopping malls and those kind of options. There's not a lot of stuff out here besides the staples, but the staples are really accessible, and that's kind of the whole Tampa area all the staples are pretty accessible. Now, if you're going to get more specific, like Costco, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, those are a little more hit or miss, and there's not many areas where you have easy access to all of those. Con number 4, this area is kind of far from the city of Tampa and from like the airport. So the airport in Tampa is pretty central to like Hillsborough County and Pinellas County. And if you're way out here on the outskirts of Hillsborough County, that is just kind of a long drive to that airport. And other things within the city are going to be pretty far away if you're going up to like a Bucks game. I don't know. Whatever people want to go do in the city, if you're just going downtown to have a fancy meal, those things are just kind of far. And then con number 4 to wrap this up, this area, this Apollo Beach, Waimama, Ruskin-ish area, there are a few beaches here, but it is pretty far from nice beaches. So the closest nice beaches would be St. Pete Beach, which is often one of the top beaches in the US. And then one of my favorites, Anna Maria, down in Bradenton. Those are kind of gonna be the closest like nice beaches. And you can see here on the map that they're not all that close. Now, a lot of people move here and they don't expect to be super close to the beach. They're okay with a 45-minute or an hour drive because they're thinking they're gonna go for a full day once a month. So maybe this doesn't shock you, maybe this isn't a big deal at all. But on the other side of that, people often move to Florida and think, where is the beach? So here it is, from this area, these are the closest really nice beaches, like Instagram worthy kind of beaches. So these were some of the pros and cons of the Apollo Beach, the greater Apollo Beach area down here on the map. Give us a call if you have any questions about homes down in this area. You want to buy, you want to sell. We would love to hear from you. Give us a call, send us a text, or send us an email, and let's connect and see how we can help you. And as always, thanks for coming by.